Everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. So I'll start today's session with, uh, just a word of gratefulness, you know, um, gratitude. Um, you know, went to Toronto, Brampton area for Satsang, 3 sessions over the weekend. I think it was, truly blissful experience. And so much so that uh, for some reason, which I can't explain, I am still, let me just say, I'm on a high. And so very grateful for that. And for those who have had those experiences, they can relate to it. And those who have not, I just wish, hope, and pray that you would experience that soon. In satsang, higher awareness, higher consciousness, higher states, that's not necessarily, we sit in meditation for that, but we don't boast about it and we don't talk too much about it, but it's a byproduct that happens all the time. And I think in one of the notes in the community, I said, it's like if you were a surfer and you were waiting for a wave to come and you keep waiting and suddenly it comes and you just, if you're steady enough on the board and you go to a new high, who do you thank? And what do you say? And I usually say that in those times, there's no need for analysis. There's no need for understanding how, what, when. Just enjoy the high. With that note, Paula is here too today, and for some reason, I just so there was, in a couple of sessions we have talked about Dharma and Dhamma, the Buddhist term, and obviously I'm not an expert at all. I'm not coming from that perspective. I'm just coming from reflection. So before we meditate today in a few minutes, let's just reflect on some of these quote unquote Eastern concepts. So Dharma and Dhamma, which is Dhamma is a lot of Buddhist text was in Pali language, and so Dharma became Dhamma there. But they both those words come from Sanskrit root dhari, which is to uphold, to sustain, to support. So basically, we talked about this. So Guru Maharaj, in his own ways, simplified to a point where it's just, all the frills, all the superlatives, if you take those out, what remains is the essence. And here, for him, Dharma was set of duties. And what are my responsibilities? How should I conduct myself? How should I relate to my family? How should I earn my livelihood? How should I serve the society? How should I relate to God? How should I cultivate my inner life? Where you are, you know, in the bigger scheme of things, depending on the circumstances and surroundings and phase of your life, your dharma could be different. And so to him, duty to the self, purify the mind, develop your inner strength, meditate, grow spiritually, to a point where in one of his conversations, he said that every human being should focus on achieving what he called the ocean of peace. And if I elaborate this a little more, the way I understood in the spiritual journey, you will first find light, which is knowledge or, clarity, purpose. Then you find love, which is universal. And then you find peace. So love, light, and peace should be on demand. Like you switch on the light, you should be able to switch on, whichever tap, whichever energy you want to tap. Duty to the family, to live with responsibility, affection, integrity, steadiness. Duty to the society, to serve, to uplift, to avoid harming others. Duty to the truth, to live honestly, not just conveniently. Duty to the divine, to remember the higher purpose of life. So in that context, so this will all come out in a Substack article shortly. Finally, it's like I've been working on this for a little bit. So religion is often identity-based. Dharma is more conduct-based. Religion can be inherited. Dharma should be lived. Religion may emphasize belief. Dharma emphasizes practice. Religion can become ritualistic, and dharma must remain transformative. Religion can divide by label, and dharma should unite through truth and duty. And religion asks, what do you believe? And dharma asks, how do you live? Now coming for a few more minutes to Dhamma. So when Buddha attained enlightenment, what he rediscovered, because that was always there, that came to be known as Dhamma. And it is not presented as a system of beliefs to be accepted blindly. It's offered as a practical method for understanding the nature of existence and overcoming suffering. So a lot will be in the article, but it talks about 4 noble truths. Life includes suffering, which we all know. Suffering has a cause, which not necessarily we all understand very clearly. But here it says suffering can end, and there is a path to that ending. So the 4 truths are: life includes suffering, suffering has a cause, suffering can end, and there is a path to that ending. So it's diagnosis, cause, cure, and treatment. And then there is, in Dhamma, there is also a eightfold path. So that was very fascinating. In the yoga philosophy, there is Ashtanga Yoga, which is 8 limbs of yoga. Asanas, pranayams, yam, niyam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. And what we meditate on is, our meditation covers pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi primarily. And the intent or the effect of that would be that your behavior gets better, which is yama and niyama, and your, because you have better control on your mind, you will probably live better. And because of that, asana and pranayama, which is like toning your body and breathing, should happen as well. So coming back to the noble eightfold path of Dharma, which is very interesting. So, and which all of us should be doing anyways. So it says that you need to, the eightfold path is that you should have the right way of viewing things, the right intention, the right speech, the right action, the right livelihood. You should be making effort in the right direction. And then the seventh and eighth are mindfulness and meditation, which I think, as I was writing this, it's like, wow, mindfulness and meditation is, core tenets of, Dharma, which is very interesting. And then it also goes into aspects of impermanence. Everything changes, bodies, emotions, relationships, circumstances, and suffering deepens when we demand permanence. Non-attachment. Attachment is not love. Attachment is clinging. The mind is saying, this must remain mine. This must not change. And, so non-attachment, non-clinging is also part of Dhamma. Compassion. Wisdom without compassion would be very dry. Compassion without wisdom becomes sentimental. So Dhamma joins the two. And this I can relate to very well. Guru Maharaj talks about that a lot. Mindfulness and meditation. So mind is both the battlefield and the doorway. So through meditation, one observes thought, desire, fear, reaction, and instead of getting controlled by those things. So, and I can go on, but we can probably pick this up after meditation if need be. You believe in this or not, the thing is the right intention, the right way of viewing things, right speech, right action, right livelihood, mindfulness, right effort, concentration, all that, I think we ought to look at anyway. So on that note, let's, get into our meditation, and then we can continue the discussion on this if need be after that. So to, find this peace within us, we need to focus inwards. For that, three simple things. One, eyes lightly closed, because the sensory input distracts us and we want to concentrate. So eyes lightly closed, and then still and relaxed posture. So again, every time your body moves, your mind moves with it, we want to concentrate. And relaxed posture, like if there is strain anywhere, our attention goes there rather than where we want to focus. So eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture. Once that, now before we go deep inward, we need to keep a backdrop. And that backdrop is, what are we doing? So we're trying not to do anything, which is hard. So from multitude of thoughts, let's come to one thought. What would that thought be? And that thought would be, to observe this source of transcendental energy, and from that source so this form is of, like, this energy is in form of light. So you're free to think about whatever conscious source you want to think about, but the form is light, because light is knowledge, light is God. So source of transcendental energy in form of light, and this light is coming into your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are becoming one with this light. You are becoming light. You are completely getting immersed in this light. So we'll start with music. Music fades away, and we go into deep silent meditation. And then we transition out with music again. So I'll repeat the instructions one more time. You can do any mindfulness, breathing, mantra, etc., any other thing that you do for focus and concentration and mindfulness, you can do before or after. While you're practicing this, just for this 15-20 minutes, try to just keep your eyes closed, sit up straight, still and relaxed posture. And then think of this transcendental energy to be here and now from a conscious source. This transcendental light is coming, entering your heart, enlightening it, and then distributing throughout your body, and you're getting completely and totally immersed in it. And naturally, your mind will go somewhere else, which is, so just when you observe that your mind has, taken off, just once you realize that, just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that you are sitting in front of this source of transcendental energy in form of light, and this light is entering your heart and distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. You are becoming the light. We'll start with music. Music fades away, and then we go into deep silent meditation. So let's start. A happy Saturday, everyone. So first of all, let me welcome you all. And, you know, in a way, I never think that there is new or old. Anybody here is family, but relatively new folks. If any one of you would like to introduce yourself or just, you know, get the conversation going in some ways, really appreciate, would really appreciate that. Anybody who wants to come on, this is your time, especially Edna, Wayne, Gretchen, Mary, and for that matter, anyone who, if you want to come up and, even ask some questions and share some thoughts, if you can, for the sake of everyone else, just, do a 30-second intro, that would be nice. So you can, I think, I think make sure that they can unmute and put the video on, whoever wants to. And this is your time. Ideally, after meditation, there ought to be some transition out. So this is time when you continue to imbibe the energy before you go back to whatever else you ought to do. So silence is golden, but while everybody is soaking up the energy, we need to keep the conversation going. That's all, just to keep it truth. So anyone to break the ice today? Silence to me is very comfortable. Silence is golden. There's no issues with that. So Gretchen, thank you for the reaction. So how about just, introduce yourself a little?
Well, this is my second session.
Yeah.
Last week it was a little bit more difficult. Today was much more transcending for me. I was able to focus much more deeply, feel much more relaxed. I'm loving this. I'm going to try to incorporate this every week. So I hope you continue with the sessions. And to the new people that are here, welcome. Allow yourself some time to sort of develop the techniques that this wonderful teacher is teaching us.
Thank you. And yeah, I can repeat everything you said. It's like, well said. It takes just a little bit to settle in. If we give ourselves that time, I think ability to soak the energy, call it imbibe the energy, manifest the energy, receive the energy, all that, it's like, it's a learning process. Fairly simple though, but hard because our mind comes in the way. So transition in and transition out, which I include the talk, the music, the instructions, everything is transition in. And what we're doing now is kind of just before we go out and, you know, do other things, this is just an extended time where, you continue the process in some way, shape, or form. So, thank you.
It's a beautiful way to start a Saturday.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. And by the way, we have been doing this, this session since I think somewhere when the COVID started. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, there's no better way for me to start my Saturday than this. So, no comments or thoughts or even disagreements on what we discussed before the meditation? Oh, this is a quiet.
Fortunate to join, Pujapaya. Happy Saturday, everyone. Just wanted to say that it was so blissful. And one of the things that you've mentioned about Dharma and Dhamma and how religion is different in that Dharma meditation seek to unite us through helping us with our lifestyles and everyday living. So that's really remarkable. The united thought process and way of living that comes from the meditation that's offered by Guru Maharaj through you. So we're fortunate to join. Namaskar.
Yeah, and what Arvindji didn't mention is that he actually did a lot of, refinement on this topic as we are, building up the article for Substack. Yeah. So, Edna, Wayne, any questions, comments? Mary? So, Biju, you're still traveling, or you're back?
I'm back, and it's great to be back and doing this with the group, and another great session. I could not join while in some of the live sessions, but it's always great to be back and meditating with the group, and I look forward to these Saturdays. And I used to go on retreats for meditation, but for me, these Saturdays have become weekly retreats rather than the 6 monthly retreats that I used to go for meditation. So thank you for organizing this. It's so nice.
Sure thing. Yeah, every meditation is a retreat in a way. It's like talking about retreats. I'm inviting everyone to my home in Oakton, Virginia, July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd. So if anyone and everyone, if you have time, let me know. So this also, in person, we do 5 sessions, morning, evening on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday it's a morning session. Yeah.
My meditation was very good, Sanjeev.
Thank
I've
you.
thought about the Dharma, but I would learn to study the Dharma.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just forgot to mention that the teaching of Buddha, that what you mentioned is it's not easy to take, right? Life is suffering, and why does it have to be that, right? It's a yeah, it is a hard. It's I'm sure there's a deeper meaning to it rather than the suffering as defined in the dictionary.
Mm.
There must be some other meaning to the word suffering. Dukkha,
So
dukkha means
sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'll talk
yeah,
about
it's whatever you do. There is the other way that Buddha. I've heard people talk about that is there is suffering in whatever you do. So choose your heart or choose your suffering. So that's some of the other ways that I've heard about this. But that's not, yeah, just want to get your thoughts on if life is suffering, what is it for?
So two things coming to my mind. One, and I was like literally, this was something that I have read over and over in the Hindi literature that my grandfather and a lot of people who followed him have written over the last century. They say that if suffering makes you remember, or suffering makes you a believer, or suffering connects you with the higher power, because a lot of that is not in our control, then that is serving a purpose in a way. And I think if we look at those four things, that sufferings can end and there's a path to it. What that means is that maybe we are perceiving or defining it wrong. And if we understand that there can be a perception which then converts that into the path, which then leads to quote unquote, and a state of non-suffering, where it's in Urdu there is a word inshallah. It's like his wish, and his wish is my command or something. It's like basically when we align with the nature in ways that we resonate with that frequency, it's like everything just perceived very, very differently.
Thank you for that. Thanks.
So it's I mean, if I was to just super simplify what is enlightenment, it's like a state where we not just we have been talking about love, light, and peace, and light is knowledge, where you clearly see. It's like the third eye opens up in the sense of your ability to see clearly, which then clarifies your purpose in life. And when your purpose in life clarifies, then you relate to the world very differently. And when you relate to the world very differently, the selfless love and unconditional love and all those things we can talk about but cannot connect with becomes second nature, and then peace just follows after that. So I think I was leading this somewhere, which I kind of lost my thought there. But the way I saw that being implemented by the leaders of this satsang lineage, my grandfather and my uncles and my grandfather's followers, who really led a life based on these principles. What I found was that, say, think of, and I'm not saying that we will convert into that, but just think of one person. So mother, in love of their child, sometimes would do sacrifices without thinking about that sacrifice, and just be so in it that my job, my duty, my focus is to, take care of this infant, let's say. And so multiply that, by hundreds of thousands, and what you have seen in people like Mother Teresa and others, it's like they just look at others suffering, so they forget what they are at, and they just their state becomes like, I want to serve others. And that focus takes away the focus from me, me, give. It becomes the way rather than take. So it's like a switch that happens. I think it's like in neuroplasticity. At some point, because of meditation and because of that, some behavioral changes, and it comes to a point where there is a tipping point where you tip over to a hardwired state of brain where your focus goes away from yourself to others. And then where is suffering? You look at others suffering and try to help and do whatever you can for them. And that becomes so intense that, you're suffering and you're focusing. And I've seen this. And Zoom user, I can't, so, yeah. Would like to say something?
Good morning. I'm so sorry I was late.
Karen?
But one of the folks just mentioned something about suffering. If suffering is life, then what's it about? Was that part of the talk this morning?
So I think we were talking about, the whole Buddhist traditions and how they have explained how to get to enlightenment. Actually, the whole thing is, when Buddha got enlightenment, what all he experienced, he kind of put that into perspective. And basically, he said, yes, we're all suffering, but if we do X, Y, and Z, we can get away from that, and we can end that suffering and get to a state where, and we all, for some interesting reason, while we probably know that there is a state of enlightenment, which we all think that it's for somebody else, not for me. And we have even seen and read, and, there are stories, but they're just stories for us. This is not a real pursuit. So we ought to make that a path for ourselves to lead to a state where sufferings actually end.
Suffering actually ends?
Yeah, it's see, because at the end of the day, suffering is a perception through our mind, right? And if that perception changes to a degree that my focus gets elsewhere, so much so that, I actually forget about my suffering. And that's just one example of how so people start thinking about God, for example, in a way that they get so deeply connected that it's, that's another example. People get into service, and their service becomes their purpose in life, and that just takes away the focus from whatever they were, quote unquote, suffering.
So one needs to find that purpose.
Yes.
Talk.
Purpose that is higher than ourselves, right? It's like so much higher that our focus goes away from, this self-centricness.
Yeah. That's a tall order. Okay, but I'll keep trying. Thank you.
Tall order, yes. But what I think one of the reasons why I'm here is that there are very, 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 very few people I have found to have reached that state and this is not like a story I have read. This is people I have met. But there are very few. So it's a very uncommon state. So we got to really, take ourselves through a path to that state, that very uncommon state. And it is uncommon because there are hurdles, there are challenges, there are, things that just keep us into this circle of, sufferings. Yeah. Unfortunate but true. A lot of us know the path, but do not have the commitment to go down that path. And unfortunately, there is so much misinformation, which I think in today's date, I think it's just multiplied. I get, showers of knowledge from WhatsApp and from all the social media, and I'm still confused, right? It's like, am I on the right path? Very interesting.
Thank you again. Sorry I missed the talk this morning.
Sure thing. I can actually send you the recording.
Oh, that would be terrific.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. All right. Any last minute or the wrap-up thought, I would say? So Arvindji, how about, what would be the wrap-up thought on the subject here?
Xavier, and hello, everyone. You've said so many things. What can I add? I'm just in that state where don't want to say too much, but just one simple thought that I heard you say before, and Puja Papaji and Guru Maharaj have also said that the ability to understand suffering and how, and as you rightly said, to rise at a level higher and choose, for example, selfless service or selfless love. That ability comes through meditative practices, through satsang. As it is said in Hindi, binu satsang na hoi viveka. So the ability to gain that judgment and rise to the level which you rightly said is so rare, uncommon. To achieve that, satsang is essential. That's my humble thought from what you've taught before.
Awesome. So on that note, let's join and bring ourselves in this mode, meditative mode again soon. The link remains the same. So same time, it's 3 p.m. UK, I think. And 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern Saturdays. Yeah, we'll see you all soon. Love, light, and peace be with you. Glad that we were here in Satsang. See you all.
Bye, namaste. Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.